little while back now, I was browsing on Facebook Marketplace, as one does for Lego sets. In this case, I found a lot of vintage Lego Star Wars sets for a really good price of only $120, and I thought this was an epic steal. So I've had these sets now for about over a year, but I've been waiting to get a display case so that they can actually stay dust-free to the best I can. Now, these stuff should actually have all the parts, maybe some minifigs missing and stuff like that. But let's find out. If we're not kidding when I said this lot came with a lot of different sets. It has 7 total. One being from 1999 all the way up to 2011 with the Geonosian Starfighter, which is also just a cool addition. Now, it's not necessarily vintage, but it's still really cool that I was able to get it for the same price with everything else. Everything that was included though was the Ender Speeder Chase, the Naboo Flash Speeder, the ATST, the A-Wing Starfighter, the Naboo Starfighter, the 2011 Geonosian Starfighter, along with the 2004 TIE Bomber. Most of them also have the instruction manuals except for the 2011 Geonosian Starfighter and then the Indoor Speeder Chase, which I actually already own one. I definitely have to admit, seeing so many vintage Lego Star Wars sets at once is definitely really cool to see, and I am very excited to build all of these. First up, we'll start with the set that I already have, set 7128, the Indoor Speeder Bike Chase from 1999. So, very nice. Looks like it has all the figures, the packaging. I want to joke about it being great, because obviously it's just a plastic bag compared to the original box packaging, but like, you know, honestly it actually works with these. Let's just hope none of the brown pieces are broken. I'm gonna state that this one did not come with an instruction manual, which is true. It did not come with the one included that I got from the guy. However, I forgot that since I actually already had the set that I got from, I think, Bricks and Minifigs, I actually got the instruction manual from them with them. So I don't have to look at the ones online. I can just use the actual physical ones that I already have. In case for the viewers who've never really seen a vintage instruction manual, they're very flimsy, very loose, and like very fragile. I mean, yes, you are, what, almost 25 years old at this point, this one specifically. So it kind of makes sense. It's well aging, but just the design and everything that they would do, the little frame shots at the top, an actual galaxy backdrop, kind of having an actual style and uniqueness to it that we don't really get today with the just blend. Like, I do like the figure on the bottom and stuff, like tracking the progress, but it's definitely not the way that it used to be. Like the back of the model, the back of the magazine, as you have like different models you can do and build, like alternate builds, little fun, little scenes, and actual authentic photos, by the way, that actually look really good. I actually really like the way this looks, so it's really cool. Just things we just don't really have anymore when they always say the best is good enough. For 1999, this is really good. Hey, dumping out the pieces here was very stressful with all those brittle brown pieces. Let's hope that none are broken. Let's hope that the actual figures are all here and intact. I was about to be like, oh yeah, so far so good. The minifigures look great. And then I realized I'm kind of missing a key part. The green baseplate is just nowhere to be found. Crap. Well, it's officially complete. Thankfully, no pieces broken except for the one missing green piece, which was just substituted for the only 4x10 plate that I had. It seemed to actually work, and the instruction manual was actually very helpful. It was very cool to actually build the set the original way it was. And yeah, I got very lucky that none of the brown pieces so far have not broken. And honestly, these speeders look really great, especially for the time, so no complaints. On to the next. Next up with the Naboo Flash Speeder, thankfully had all the pieces. It is sadly missing the minifigure, but it did at least include the instruction manual with some very cool alternate builds. But overall, the set is a lot smaller than I expected, and still looks great. We have 7127, the ATST Imperial ATST Walker with a Chewbacca included. Very nice. And now hopefully we also have all the pieces and no more brittle brown. The thing about the set is also the inverted slope here that is printed with the ATST being fired at by this ATST, because Chewbacca takes it and shoots it at that one. It's very cool. That's an actual printed detail. Honestly, I will admit, for one figure and one build, this set is not as cool as I kind of thought it to be. It's a little more on the more really goofy side, but overall, I'm happy with it. It's funny. There's a lot of really cool features like this, especially like the way that the walker moves. You can't like turn the head, but when you move this, it kind of moves it forward. I'll show it better later, but I still find that really quite fascinating that it's so simple in a way. How bland Chewbacca is in this set, my goodness. The instruction manual is definitely not. This set was actually part of 2001 LEGO Star Wars Wave, so you have some of the actual Technic sets in the back. Very cool. On the other parts, you have some more. The Prophecy Shuttle, very nice. Pod Race, well, that's Junkyard right there, but the Pod Race is on another page. So it's very, very cool seeing there's some 1999 sets here. Just a whole catalog worth of stuff that you don't even really get to even see that in the back. Set 7134, the A-Wing Fighter. Onto the A-Wing Fighter, which does have its instruction manual, but also has, I believe, maybe some pieces missing, and it is missing one of the figures. It's missing the Rebel Tactician, but it does have the pilot, so I guess that's still a plus. Printed on slope piece here with the A-Wing crashing into the Star Destroyer bridge. This is just beautiful. I honestly never know what to expect from a year 2000 A-Wing Fighter, but it's definitely not one of my favorites. Looking at it more, I kind of like, okay, it's not that bad. You can tell it's an A-Wing, but it's certainly not the prettiest thing out there. The instruction manual looks really cool. Some really cool alternate builds it looks like they came up with. Kind of actually like that. But overall, the A-Wing itself it's actually pretty alright. The more I look at it, I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. The build was kind of fun and enjoyable, easy to do. But, you know, it looks better with the cockpit open, honestly, especially the gap. But, you know, at least it has the pilot, so that's cool. LEGO Systems Star Wars 1999 Naboo Starfighter. I'm not sure what this one's going to include, figure-wise and all that jazz, so hopefully it has all the parts and maybe some figures. But besides that, very excited to open this overall. Let's open up the bag here. It does seem like we're supposed to have 4 minifigures, 2 actual figures, Anakin, R2-D2, and then 2 battle droids. We do still have those 2 figures, and looks like there's some droid parts, so I'm really hoping that the rest of the droids are going to be in there. It'll be kind of cool. This instruction manual is actually slightly thicker than the other previous sets I just opened. And this so far does not look like it has a back. Maybe it's just missing pages, or this is just the way it came. But no surprise there. So yeah, lots of pieces to go through this time. Looking for the droid parts, I don't know what happened to his leg. I think he tried breakdancing. Maybe he did the robot? Another beautifully printed piece that actually accurately represents the control panels of the N1 Naboo Starfighter. This looks amazing. The N1 Naboo Starfighter is now officially complete. Honestly, I'd say it's a lot better in person. It's still very short and chubby, as you can see in the pictures and stuff like that. But it looks more like an actual build in person, so I'm actually happy with that. I am missing the other droid, and a full droid doesn't even exist in this, so. I mentioned that thankfully it did actually have all the pieces that, well, since the actual figures, but it had every piece of the set except for one color swap piece, the one tail end, so it's not the biggest thing, but just one piece is not bad. Now onto the biggest set of this entire box is the 2004 TIE Bomber. I have a bad feeling that this set is actually going to be missing a few pieces. I really, really hope not, but I do think the TIE Pilot is included, so I do suppose that's an upside. But yeah, let's dig in. First, taking a look at our new instruction manual here, the new 2004 style type design. Very cool, actual original art, actual new designs for the actual instructions as well, instead of keeping it, you know, all the same, actually making things look different. It's very, very thin, but it seems like it's all spread across a decent amount of pages. That's kind of why. Ooh, okay, so not a lot of pages there, and then on the back here. Ooh, okay, I was not expecting to see these. I guess these were 2004. I was in 2002. I don't know why, but you know, but it's still really cool to show the actual mini sets here. I guess it's 2004 because it's blue design. I should have known that. It's kind of sad. On the back, advertising LegoStarWars.com, which all the other ones actually did as well, because obviously the age of the internet is still very relatively new, but this is still really cool to see nonetheless. Our bag of pieces here, it seems like there's a lot of larger, bigger pieces in here, which kind of makes sense why it was in a bigger bag and stuff. A lot of cool new pieces and stuff, and thankfully the minifigure is included. That's a plus. This is now the complete Tiny Bomber set. Honestly, very, very good. Very impressed. Instructions were fun to do. It was a fun, enjoyable build. A lot of things I wouldn't really exactly expected. It's a little bit loose on there, which is okay. The wings look good. I actually had one missing piece, a 1x6 plate tile in blue. So I just did a little I did it as a tile there. So that kind of worked. But overall, it's great. A lot of cool features that we'll get into later. Yeah, very nice model overall. So far, in summary, I already have you. You're smaller than expected. You're larger than expected. Broken pieces. I don't even know what to say about you. You look a thug. You're actually pretty much cooler than I thought you would be. You're pretty epic. You're more wobbly than I thought, but still cool nonetheless. And I already have you. Not a bad squad. And we still have one left. And last but not least, we had set 7959, the Geonosian Starfighter. Sadly, does not come in with Kandumai or Commander Cody, but it does at least have the Geonosian pilot, I do believe, which is kind of nice. So hopefully we have all the pieces here. Sadly, no instruction manuals, but at least LEGO.com does have it. So we can make this work. Now the complete model with just the one minifigure, this set still looks great. Now there was only one broken piece, which honestly wasn't that bad. It was just a 1x2 plate, and I was still able to use it. Just the edge of it was kind of broken, but overall, still very happy I was able to build this set, even with tiny instructions on the phone. It's great to have it. This is now the entirety of everything that was included in the box, majority of them being vintage except for the exception of the 2011 Geonosian Starfighter, which also looks really, really cool. Seeing all of these sets on one table in one area alone is really, really cool. Now, obviously, some of them have like missing minifigures and stuff like that, which is like, it's a bummer. But honestly, just seeing the sets alone, and only for like $120, I got all of these sets for, is honestly really amazing. And I really love all of these. To kind of go through like each set here, first we're going to start off with the Speeder Bike Chase. This set does have all the minifigures. All of the actual parts were included, except for one, which is the green base plate, so I just substituted it for one of my own. But besides that, no broken brown pieces yet, thankfully, and hopefully it stays that way. But honestly, overall, this is just, I already have this set, but like, getting it again, something about it is just like so cool. I really love the classic brown, I guess. Maybe that's what kind of does it for me. But I also really like the shaping of the speeder bike. I know it's such simple. Like obviously the gear in the back's a little weird, but for some reason, maybe it's the shaping, the darker colors and everything. It just looks so cool to me. I'm not really sure exactly why, but also chrome lightsaber, of course, is always really cool to get. So overall, I'm a big fan of this one. Kind of continuing here with the Return of the Jedi S theme here is our AT-ST Walker, the first of its kind. Only has one minifigure, which is Chewbacca. Can't really complain. It's obviously it's a very bland 2000 edition Chewbacca, so like it is what it is. Okay, cool. This AT-ST though, it's a very love-hate relationship. One unique thing about this, obviously, besides like the weird color choices that they used to make in the early 2000s. Whatever. Besides that, the walker can move its legs like this. It's on like a little pivot joint, which is really, really cool. You just cannot turn the walker's head. It's like the only downside. Besides that, though, this thing can walk as a walking machine. These are a little bit loose, but they do swivel. Very cool. Front turn, I actually really like that technique. I would have thought that would have been illegal, but like, you know. Also, pieces that we don't see anymore. These kind of like hinge pieces. This just kind of folds down and stuff. The printed slope piece in there with them shooting the AT-ST Walker. Chewbacca does actually fit in there, surprisingly. I don't know why I was very surprised by that, but it kind of does. So, it's very cool. It's a very simplistic way of doing it, but it's weird looking. shaping of it's really, really weird. But overall, it has that kind of vintage charm to it. Rebel A-Wing Fighter. This guy is honestly, I kind of thought I really didn't like it at first. I was like, what the heck is this? But honestly, it's kind of grown on me kind of a lot. It's actually pretty decently really good, especially for like the first ever Star Wars A-Wing in a very simplistic manner and stuff. And I really like it. The colors, the kind of gray, it's weird and it's funky, but it's kind of really cool. The feature of the cockpit actually opening up, really, really surprising. This one is missing a figure. It's missing the Rebel Tactician, but it does at least, oh my goodness, he's a little stuck in there. Have a Rebel Pilot, so that's really cool. And there's more printed control panels. This one's with them crashing into the Super Star Destroyer bridge. Very cool. Nice little nod to that scene. There's also this whole back section. It's up. It has this. It has binoculars in there. That, like, it's so simple, but so beautiful. Also, mind you, none of these sets have stickers. They're all printed parts of the... back to the good old days. So simple. It's so beautiful. One crazy thing about this is the landing gear. Honestly, these kind of act as landing gear, so you don't really need these. But, see, it's just as sturdy. But it's kind of cool that when you're flying, you just kind of take that off and just kind of fly it around. So, it's very simple. It works. Classic 2000s. To keep the original Trilogy vibe here, we're going to do the TIE Bomber from The Empire Strikes Back. This actually I said earlier, it's 2004. I don't know why I always thought it was 2004. I do think it actually is technically from 2003. I'm just always associated with 2004, even though it's not. This set, I love the classic look of the TIE Fighters. Honestly, I was very excited for this set, but I'm honestly more disappointed in it. I don't know why. I guess it's very flimsy. I should have expected that, but for some reason, I'm just not as excited about it as I first was. But this was like the most exciting set I was. I'm missing the rubber band, so that's not cool. I was actually, so I saw technically two pieces. It did have the rubber band, but it was broken, and it was missing a 1x6 blue piece. So not the worst, honestly. I just used the tile to replace it. I like the look of it. It's sturdy. The wings are sturdier than I kind of thought, at least in the actual design. So it's actually fine to rest like this. I was really worried about that. This one did have the TIE Pilot included. It does also have the bombs. I just took them out for now because I don't have the mechanism to keep it. So, but it's kind of cool. Open up that, do that, and drop some. Another really cool thing is this bomb here. You can choose to open these first, or you can actually leave them shut. But there's this top little trigger here, and voila, it's a pretty heavy-hitting bomb. So honestly, it's kind of really cool. But honestly, I don't know why. Something about this set kind of slightly disappointed me. But overall, it's great. Hey, prequel trilogy time, 1999. It's when the movie releases, and then also when the Lego sets and Lego Star Wars become together. This set is beautiful in its own way. It's really not the most beautiful thing. I sadly am missing the second droid, and also this guy's kind of broken as it is. But it's kind of, it's cool having a classic droid with the classic blasters. At least those are still included. Mini cart here. More printed designs yet again. No stickers. Awesome. And then the actual N1. It kind of has a little stand here with a little blue thing representing it firing. I thought that was kind of cool. It's removable, but like, it's a little weird. And then this one actually did have R2-D2 and Anakin Skywalker. So we'll get to that in a second though. Overall shaping of this, it's very short. I feel like if this was ever so slightly longer, maybe thicker here, it would have been perfect. But it's a little like short and stubby, and it's a little weird. But besides that, it's really cool, especially like the printed parts here and there. Those were all printed. The actual control panel. This is how you open the cockpit, by the way. You just kind of take it off and then kind of move it forward, which it's classic. I kind of like it. R2-D2 is obviously your bland version, and then you have Anakin with the long torso legs. But as you can see, the control panel is actually accurate to the movie, so I always find that really, really cool that they don't even do that anymore. But yeah, overall, it's a pretty decent N1. I kind of put that on the wrong. Okay, this is all falling apart. Another one from the Phantom Menace, another one of my absolute favorite speeders, always has been, I don't know why. Sadly, does not include the Royal Guard. I love the Naboo Royal Guards, but of course this set is the one that doesn't have the minifig that I really, really like. Maybe someday I'll get a classic Naboo Royal Guard. But for now, the speeder itself, honestly, it's a lot smaller than I expected. But besides that, I really love it for that. Like, it's so simple. It's so beautiful. It's really neat. This folds up, has a little big actual compartment here. They don't even do that in Lego Star Wars anymore. It's another special hinge thing. But it's so tiny. It's so cutesy. I love it. I don't know why. This is probably my favorite one out of like all of them. It just doesn't have the minifigure. Oh. And to jump the timeline about 10 years or so for some of these sets, even 11 years in total, is the Geonosian Starfighter from Attack of the Clones. This is the second rendition of it, as there was one in 2002. I do really, really want that one. Everyone like seems to forget about that set, even though I find it really, really cool, but I don't really ever see people having it or in box or whatever. But even I forget it exists, to be fair. But I really like the Geonosian Starfighter as it is. I think I actually have these parts in my collection from like a Lego Facebook mom. So if I have a second one, I'm definitely going to build it. However, this one actually does include one of the minifigures, the Geonosian pilot sentinel drone, whatever you want to call them, technically. But sadly, no Commander Cody, no Conde Mai. However, I'm very glad to have my first ever Geonosian, so I can't really complain there. And it's a very cooler build and look than I thought. It's more simple than I thought it would be. But honestly, I really, really like that. Like, you can open this up, and it drops the missile. Nice. Those things can kind of turn. And then the pilot. So, it's very simple, but it's nice in its own way. Honestly, that is a wrap of this video. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing all these cool vintage Star Wars sets that you may not have got to see otherwise. Of course, you can look them up on the internet and stuff. But just kind of giving my little thoughts and kind of seeing what it's like to buy them from Facer Marketplace for a really good deal. I'm very happy with these, and I can't wait to put them in a display case that I finally have after a year of actually getting these guys. I don't know where I'm going to put the Geonosian Starfighter, but everything else, though, I'm really happy with it. So maybe I'll show some B-roll of where I'm going to put them and stuff. But yeah, overall, hopefully you enjoyed seeing all these really cool vintage Star Wars sets and their weird, quirky ways, especially THSD. But yeah. Alright, Starlight Bricks, signing off.